One of the things that I love most about my show is that when I travel the world, a lot of people tell me that we inspire them to want to bake. We inspire them to, want to go to culinary school.
From a humble family bakery in Hoboken to a global television sensation, Buddy Valastro transformed Cake Boss into a cultural phenomenon that inspired millions to see cake decorating as an art form. But how did this beloved show, once praised for its creativity and heartwarming family dynamic, lose its shine? Did overexposure and scandal shatter the sweet success? Behind the larger-than-life cakes and charismatic personalities were cracks that grew larger over time, revealing a complex story of ambition, controversy, and unexpected fallout. The hidden cracks that changed everything. At its peak, Cake Boss looked unstoppable, a perfect mix of creativity, family, and spectacle that kept viewers coming back for more. Every episode delivered bigger cakes, louder celebrations, and higher expectations. The energy felt endless, and the show's success made it seem like nothing could slow it down. But behind that polished surface, subtle shifts were already starting to take hold, ones that didn't seem obvious at first, but slowly began to reshape the show in ways fans didn't immediately notice. What made Cake Boss special in the beginning was how fresh it felt. Watching sugar transform into massive, intricate designs felt almost magical, like anything was possible inside that bakery. But as the seasons went on, that sense of surprise became harder to maintain. The cakes grew larger, the designs more complex, yet the formula began to feel familiar. The excitement that once came naturally now had to be recreated on demand, and that quiet pressure to constantly outdo previous creations started building behind the scenes. It wasn't just about making cakes anymore. It was about maintaining a level of spectacle that audiences had come to expect every single time. At the same time, the show's growing presence became a double-edged sword. Cake Boss wasn't just on television anymore, it was everywhere. Spin-offs, interviews, reruns, and media appearances kept it constantly in the public eye. What once felt like a special experience slowly turned into something viewers could access anytime. And when something becomes too available, even something great, it begins to lose its sense of novelty. Audiences didn't necessarily fall out of love. They just started paying less attention, distracted by newer shows offering something different. But repetition and overexposure weren't the only changes taking place. Conversations around the show began to shift as well. Small criticisms and behind-the-scenes concerns started surfacing, gradually gaining attention. At first, these moments didn't seem serious enough to affect the show's image. However, they introduced something new, uncertainty. And once that uncertainty exists, it subtly changes how audiences engage, making them more aware, more critical, and sometimes less forgiving. Even loyal fans began to watch with a different mindset, noticing things they might have once ignored. What made this turning point so significant was how quietly it unfolded. There was no single episode, no dramatic moment where everything suddenly collapsed. Instead, it was a slow transformation. The very elements that once fueled the show's success, its scale, its constant visibility, its need to keep raising the bar, began working against it. And because everything still looked successful on the surface, few people realized what was happening in real time. It felt less like a fall and more like a gradual shift that only became clear in hindsight. In the end, it wasn't one mistake or one controversy that changed everything. It was a combination of factors building at once, creating a shift that was gradual but powerful. And to truly understand how those cracks formed, you have to look deeper than the show itself, back to the story, the pressure, and the foundation that shaped everything Cake Boss would become. Buddy's bakery roots. Bartolo "Buddy" Valastro Jr. was born in Hoboken, New Jersey, as the fourth of 5 children in a close-knit Italian-American family. Growing up, Buddy was immersed in the world of baking by virtue of his father, Bartolo Valastro Sr., who founded Carlo's Bakery, a modest but beloved establishment known for authentic Italian pastries and cakes. From a young age, Buddy's days were filled with the sights and smells of the bakery, learning its rhythms as if they were second nature. Buddy's father was not just a baker, but a dedicated craftsman who who insisted on quality and tradition. Watching Bartolo Sr. work tirelessly to serve perfect pastries left an indelible mark on Buddy, instilling in him a deep appreciation for the craft and the meaning of hard work. This early exposure nurtured Buddy's passion for baking, sparking a natural talent for creating beautiful, delicious cakes. Though life in the bakery was demanding, it was also a family affair that bonded the Valastros tightly. Buddy spent countless hours alongside his father and relatives, absorbing lessons about baking, business, and family loyalty. These formative experiences forged a foundation of values and skills that would guide Buddy throughout his future career. Tragedy struck in 1994 when Buddy was just 17. His father succumbed to lung cancer, leaving a void that thrust young Buddy into an unexpected leadership role. Suddenly, the responsibility of running the bakery fell squarely on his shoulders, despite limited experience and youth. It was a daunting challenge that tested his resolve and determination in ways few could imagine. During this turbulent period, Buddy's mother, Mary Valastro, sort of emerged as a pillar of support. She was steady. Her guidance and strength helped Buddy get through this difficult transition, giving emotional encouragement and also practical business advice in a way that actually mattered. Together, they worked to keep the bakery afloat and to maintain the family's unity, despite adversity and all that. Even with the steep learning curve, Buddy rose to the occasion. He honored his father's legacy while slowly injecting his own creative flair into what the bakery was serving. Rather than sticking only to traditional Italian pastries, Buddy also introduced innovative cakes that showed artistic skill and careful attention to detail. And that alone brought new customers in, the ones looking for something extraordinary, not just normal. Word spread pretty fast about the incredible cakes coming out of Carlo's bakery. People traveled from across the region just to experience the visual spectacles and those delicious flavors that Buddy and his team were crafting. With every single unique creation, Carlo's Bakery started building a reputation as a destination bakery, not merely a neighborhood place. Still, no matter the local success and devoted fans, Carlo's Bakery remained very much a single shop in Hoboken. The step from beloved local bakery to a national and global kind of phenomenon would need a catalyst that went beyond the bakery walls. That catalyst came years later, altering the course of Buddy's life and expanding the reach of Carlo's Bakery in ways unimaginable. How a television producer's discovery transformed the family business into a household name is a story of opportunity meeting ambition. The Cake Boss breakthrough. The turning point for Buddy Valastro's career came in 2009 when TLC launched Cake Boss, a reality series that captured the daily workings of Carlo's Bakery and showcased Buddy's extraordinary cake-making talents. The show's format was simple but powerful, mixing the technical skill of the bakery's creations with the warmth and drama of family life behind the scenes. It was this unique blend that resonated deeply with audiences. Cake Boss was an immediate hit. Viewers were drawn to Buddy's charisma, the family-oriented atmosphere, and the jaw-dropping designs the team produced. With each episode, Buddy's reputation as a master cake artist soared, and the bakery's profile grew from a local treasure to a national sensation. The series tapped into a cultural fascination with culinary craftsmanship and reality TV's emphasis on personal stories. Buddy's artistry went far beyond traditional cake design. He became known for life-sized sculptures and elaborately detailed wedding cakes that looked more like works of art than desserts. His creativity demonstrated that cake decorating was not just a craft, but a form of expression capable of inspiring awe. This elevated Cake Boss from simple entertainment to a celebration of edible artistry. The show also highlighted Buddy's business acumen. While preserving the bakery's deep family roots, Buddy expanded the menu with new recipes and specialty cakes that attracted a wider audience. This careful balance between tradition and innovation helped Carlo's Bakery stand out in a competitive market. Fans connected not only with Buddy's skill, but also with his dedication to family. His sisters Lisa and Grace, along with brother-in-law Joey, played prominent roles, reinforcing the show's message of loyalty and teamwork. Buddy's interactions with his wife Lisa and their children added an intimate layer that made the cast feel relatable and genuine. Cake Boss also delivered memorable moments that became etched in popular culture. from collapsing chandelier cakes to outrageous themed creations like edible toilets and hyper-realistic Halloween cakes. These instances kept viewers hooked and spread the show's fame beyond television, making Carlo's Bakery synonymous with creativity. As the show's popularity grew, spin-offs and specials followed, and the bakery experienced an influx of visitors eager to taste the magic firsthand. Carlo's Bakery became a pilgrimage site for cake enthusiasts and tourists alike, cementing Buddy's status as an icon in the culinary world. Buddy's newfound fame also turned him into a media staple. He appeared in magazines, talk shows, and food events, further enhancing his public profile and solidifying Cake Boss's position in pop culture. The Star Baker's story was no longer just about cakes. It was a narrative of family, ambition, and overcoming adversity. This meteoric rise made it easy to forget the long road Buddy traveled from his father's bakery to nationwide recognition. Yet, with such rapid growth came new pressures and expectations, forces that would eventually shape the fate of both Buddy and Cake Boss itself. As the glow of success shone brightly, the challenges lurking in the shadows began to mount, foreshadowing a complex turning point that few anticipated. Defining moments and show highlights. Cake Boss quickly became known for its unforgettable creations and moments that blurred the line between baking and spectacle. One of the most talked-about incidents involved a massive chandelier cake that dramatically collapsed during a photo shoot. The weight of the construction was too much for the delicate layers, and watching this towering masterpiece come crashing down was both shocking and oddly captivating for viewers. Moments like this highlighted the immense challenges the team faced while pushing the boundaries of cake artistry. Buddy and his team never hesitated to take on unusual and whimsical projects. They crafted a life-sized replica of a toilet complete with edible water and flushing noises, showcasing their willingness to surprise and entertain beyond conventional cakes. This playful attitude kept fans engaged and demonstrated that Cake Boss was about fun and creativity as much as it was about cooking. It was this blend of imagination and skill that made the show stand out from other culinary programs. Halloween episodes brought another dimension to the show's reputation. Buddy and the team once created a zombie cake so realistic it bordered on terrifying, complete with bloody eyes, rotten skin, and exposed organs. This experience showed their mastery not only in cake design, but in storytelling through food art, engaging viewers with a mix of horror and awe. Such projects revealed the team's versatility and ability to captivate audiences with bold, thematic works. Not all themes were dark or goofy. One episode featured a wedding cake for a cat and dog couple, complete with miniature animal bride and groom figures and an entire wedding party of other animals. This heartwarming creation appealed to pet lovers and added a touch of whimsy and charm. It reflected the show's capability of combining heart and humor, deepening the emotional connection with its audience. Cake Boss also fostered friendly competition that drew fans in. Buddy's rivalry and collaboration with fellow baker Duff Goldman culminated in a televised battle where both created elaborate cakes judged by celebrity chefs. The competition showcased their individual talents and mutual respect, blending sportsmanship with artistry. This friendly rivalry added a fresh dynamic to the show that kept viewers invested beyond the bakery walls. Behind all those pretty memorable cakes, this crew was kinda like just as lively as the sweets themselves. Buddy's energetic, passionate vibe spilled over into each episode, and it really made the whole team feel like they had to tackle every tricky thing with big enthusiasm. He kept saying yes to hard assignments, and he would nudge the creative boundaries, and honestly, that was a huge part of why the show clicked so hard with people. You could also feel the personal histories and that steady camaraderie between team members, and it added this realness, like extra layers, not just frosting. Over time, the show's cast turned into this warm ensemble, almost like viewers were watching an extended family unfold in front of them. From Buddy's sisters to longtime staff, everyone came with their own quirks and character traits, which made the story feel richer. Their back and forth, the steady encouragement, and even the occasional little spats created drama that was easy to recognize. But still, it stayed cozy and human. That kind of household energy basically became a signature part of the Cake Boss brand. And then there was the emotional side. not just the sugar rush. When Buddy's mother passed away in 2017, the show aired an entire episode to honor her, like a true tribute, not a quick mention. Those moments showed how deeply she shaped both the family and the business, and viewers felt that because the episode had these heartfelt reflections that were hard to ignore. The vulnerability and remembering didn't just tug at feelings. It also reminded everyone that Cake Boss wasn't only entertainment. It was more like a portrait of resilience and love, even when things were heavy. Also, compassion didn't stay stuck inside the family walls. Buddy and his team frequently made cakes for people who were dealing with rough times, whether that meant disabilities or grieving someone they loved. They even donated cakes to charitable groups, and it kind of stitched kindness into the bakery's identity. That generosity helped reinforce the goodwill that likely built the show's loyal fans in the first place, and somehow it blended creativity with empathy in every slice, like the message was baked in there too. The personal connections and incredible scope of Cake Boss's creations made it a show with wide appeal and lasting impact, yet the rising tide of success would soon encounter turbulent waters. Family and team dynamics. The heart of Cake Boss was not just its cakes, but its people. A tightly knit group whose family ties and shared history shaped every aspect of the bakery. Buddy Valastro's sisters Lisa and Grace played essential roles, managing key operations and often appearing alongside Buddy on camera. Their presence strengthened the sense of authenticity and tradition that defined Carlo's Bakery. Together, they upheld the family legacy in a way that was both professional and deeply personal. Lisa Valastro managed the storefront and handled billing tasks, bringing order and efficiency to the bustling bakery. Her role extended beyond day-to-day operations. Throughout the show, viewers witnessed her navigating personal challenges, including the publicized arrest of her then-husband Remy Gonzalez. These real-life struggles added a complex layer to the family story depicted on screen, reminding audiences that even reality TV families face hardship. Grace Fogno, Buddy's oldest sister, worked the front counter and later took on roles in cake decoration and special order delivery. Paired with her husband Joey Fogno, the head baker, the couple balanced family life while maintaining high standards for the bakery's products. Joey himself was integral to the bakery's success, responsible for many of the signature baked goods that complemented Buddy's artistic cakes. Their steady presence provided an anchor amid the hectic pace of the bakery. Mauro Castano, a talented pastry chef from Milan and Buddy's brother-in-law, was considered Buddy's right-hand man. Their relationship went beyond work. Mauro was married to Buddy's second oldest sister, Maddalena, making the bakery's inner circle a true family affair. Mauro's culinary expertise helped elevate the bakery's offerings, blending Italian tradition with innovative flair that delighted customers and viewers alike. Frankie Amato Jr., Buddy's second cousin and a skilled cake decorator, brought creativity and personal investment to the team. Acting as godfather to Buddy's son Marco, Frankie's connection to the family extended well beyond the bakery floor. His artistic contributions enhanced many of the elaborate cake designs that became the bakery's trademark, adding depth and variety to the team's collective talent. Danny Dragone, a longtime family friend fondly nicknamed the Mule for his versatility, had been part of the bakery team since before Buddy's birth. Danny's diverse roles and steadfast commitment made him a reliable backbone of the operation. His daughter Tatiana continued the family tradition, working alongside the team and contributing to the bakery's legacy of dedication and loyalty. Supporting staff like Mary Ciarone and Lisa Valastro also played pivotal roles. Mary served as a cake consultant and was involved in key storylines throughout the series, including a temporary firing and rehiring episode that highlighted workplace dynamics and the challenges of running a family business in the public eye. Lisa's contributions in managing operations and dealing with personal upheavals painted a full picture of the balance between business and family. The cohesion and chemistry among the team extended to their shared struggles. The bakery navigated the departure of people like Remy Gonzalez, Lisa's former husband and Buddy's left-hand man, whose arrest and conviction for serious crimes marked a difficult chapter for the family. Despite such challenges, the team's resilience helped maintain the bakery's stability and integrity in the public eye. Together, this cast of family and friends formed more than a workplace. They were a community bound by loyalty and shared ambition. Their interactions, both affectionate and at times tense, created a compelling narrative that gave Cake Boss its heart. It was this blend of personal connection and professional dedication that made the show more than a reality series. It was a living family story told through sugar, flour, and unwavering commitment. In the midst of this close-knit dynamic, external pressures began to mount, signaling that the family's unity would soon be tested by forces beyond their control. Controversies and negative publicity. Despite its many celebratory moments, Cake Boss wasn't immune to controversy. In 2013, reports surfaced that Buddy Valastro had been paying his workers below the required minimum wage, violating the Fair Labor Standards Act. Employees claimed they earned as little as $5 an hour, while the New Jersey minimum wage at the time was $8.25. The allegations didn't stop at pay. Workers accused Buddy of fostering a hostile work environment marked by verbal abuse and intimidation. Buddy responded by denying these claims, insisting he had always treated his employees fairly and compensated them properly. However, the mounting pressure led to a 2014 settlement with the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. As part of the agreement, Buddy was required to pay back wages and implement new workplace policies to ensure fair pay and a respectful environment for all employees. The scandal tarnished Buddy's image, causing some fans to reconsider their support for the show and the bakery. Legal troubles continued to swirl around Buddy. In 2014, he was arrested for driving under the influence after being pulled over by a Manhattan police officer following erratic driving behavior. News of the DUI arrest shocked fans and media alike, casting a shadow over the wholesome family image carefully cultivated by Carlo's Bakery and Cake Boss. The arrest attracted extensive media coverage that complicated the public narrative of Buddy as a dedicated family man and entrepreneur. Further controversy erupted over a particularly sensitive misstep involving transgender celebrity Carmen Carrera. In a show episode, Carmen was the target of a prank centered around a gender reveal cake. Many viewers and advocacy groups deemed the prank transphobic, criticizing the use of gender identity as a joke. The backlash was swift and vocal, prompting many to question their continued viewership and support. This incident exposed a tone-deaf moment that alienated part of the show's audience. The controversies didn't stay neatly on camera either. In 2015, a former employee ended up filing a lawsuit, alleging what looked like a pattern of inappropriate conduct by Buddy. This included mean-spirited remarks and gestures that were said to pile up into a hostile work atmosphere. That whole legal situation then dragged fresh media attention back in, and somehow it just made the worsening negative buzz around Buddy and the Cake Boss brand feel even louder. The lawsuit landed a serious kind of dent on the show's standing, especially in a period when keeping public goodwill intact was kind of everything. At the same time, these repeated issues strained trust between the family and their audience. What used to feel like a cherished slice of Americana was suddenly being doubted, not just for how staff was handled, but also for the insensitivity showing up in the content. Little by little, the overall momentum of scandals made it harder for fans to just ignore what was happening beneath the frosting. Public opinion shifted from genuine admiration toward skepticism, and the show's main support started to splinter. Even with all that, Buddy still tried to stay visible, talking up family values and creativity like the spotlight was something he could steer. Still, the controversies highlighted the squeeze between operating a big, high-profile business and protecting the specific image Cake Boss had built over time. Between the legal trouble and the public relations missteps, it felt like a sign that deeper problems were coming for the show and its star. Not later, but kind of in the background already. And these bad headlines weren't alone. They showed up while other forces were reshaping the TV scene. Viewers were increasingly seeking fresh people and newer formats. Cake Boss's struggles weren't only internal. The bigger entertainment ecosystem was shifting fast. The tensions between legacy and change, scandal and creativity, framed the turbulent final years of Cake Boss. leading inevitably to its fading prominence in the reality TV genre, decline in ratings, and competition. By 2015, Cake Boss was beginning to lose the momentum that had once made it one of television's most popular baking shows. The reality TV landscape had changed dramatically, with new cooking competitions, streaming programs, and fresh personalities competing for viewers' attention. What once felt original was now becoming familiar, leaving the series struggling to keep pace. The show's family-centered storytelling and elaborate cake projects had been its greatest strengths. However, audiences were increasingly drawn to faster competitions, intense judging, dramatic eliminations, and more diverse culinary voices. With so many new choices available, viewers no longer felt the same loyalty to long-running programs like Cake Boss. Its predictable format also became a problem. Most episodes followed a similar pattern. A customer requested an ambitious cake, the bakery faced a challenge, and Buddy Valastro's team worked together to complete the creation before the deadline. While this formula had entertained audiences for years, it eventually began to feel repetitive. Negative publicity surrounding Buddy and the bakery also affected the show's reputation. Controversies, combined with years of overexposure, made it harder to attract new viewers and caused some longtime fans to lose interest. Buddy's energetic personality still appealed to a loyal audience, but that fan base appeared to shrink as television trends moved in a different direction. As ratings declined, the network reduced its attention on the series. Lower viewership often meant less promotion, fewer prime scheduling opportunities, and growing uncertainty about future seasons. Producers reportedly faced the difficult task of refreshing the format without abandoning the familiar elements that remaining fans still enjoyed. By 2016, Cake Boss was no longer the television powerhouse it had once been. Its cultural influence was fading, and newer baking shows were receiving more excitement and publicity. After years of success, the series appeared to be reaching the natural end of its run. Although the original series stopped producing regular episodes, Cake Boss was not finished. Specials and related programs continued to appear, while Buddy remained active through restaurants, bakery expansions, competitions, and new television projects. The decline of Cake Boss reflected more than one controversy or ratings problem. It showed how quickly audience tastes can change in a crowded entertainment industry. Still, the program left behind a lasting legacy, helping transform elaborate cake decorating into mainstream entertainment and making Buddy and Carlo's Bakery recognizable around the world. Amidst this shifting landscape, the family's resilience and adaptation would prove crucial in facing what came next. Life after the spotlight. After Cake Boss ended in 2017, Buddy Valastro and the Carlo's Bakery team focused on new opportunities while keeping the family business thriving. Rather than slowing down, Buddy expanded the Carlo's Bakery brand with additional locations, bringing the bakery's famous cakes and pastries to even more customers across the United States. These expansions helped transform the once local bakery into a recognizable national name, attracting both longtime fans and new audiences who had only seen the creations on television. In 2018, Buddy took another major step by opening Buddy V's Ristorante in Las Vegas. The restaurant allowed him to showcase his family's Italian heritage through both traditional dishes and signature desserts. It marked an important evolution in his career, proving he was more than just a television baker. By stepping into the restaurant industry, Buddy showed his ability to adapt and grow beyond the format that first made him famous, building a brand that could stand on its own without relying entirely on TV exposure. Television, however, remained a big part of Buddy's journey. He returned to the spotlight with Bake Squad, a show that highlighted teamwork, creativity, and mentorship among talented bakers. It gave audiences a different perspective on his role, showing him not just as a competitor, but as someone guiding and supporting others. Later, he appeared in Buddy vs. Duff, where his friendly rivalry with pastry chef Duff Goldman brought a new level of excitement to baking competitions. Their back and forth was competitive yet respectful, creating entertaining moments that kept viewers engaged and reminded audiences why Buddy had become such a recognizable figure in the first place. Beyond restaurants and television, Buddy continued expanding his influence through cookbooks, baking products, and other business ventures. These efforts allowed him to share his expertise with home bakers while strengthening the Carlo's Bakery brand outside of physical locations. Meanwhile, other Cake Boss cast members found their own paths. Some remained within the family business, while others pursued independent projects, media appearances, or new opportunities beyond the bakery. The experience they gained from the show opened doors that extended far beyond Carlo's Bakery. Cake Boss rose as a beloved family and baking sensation, only to face challenges that tested its foundation. From dazzling creations to difficult controversies, its journey offers a powerful lesson in resilience and reinvention. If you enjoyed this story of passion and perseverance, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating cultural moments. And before you go, click the next video on your screen to uncover another remarkable story filled with unexpected twists.